Well, we've got an interesting show here for you today. In fact, a lot of things going on here in this landscape design that probably wouldn't thrive unless you had an expert behind it all. And that's why we've got Mark Linton here for us today. And Mark, the challenge here was the shade, right?
You know, shade always presents a big challenge, and what we of course want to do is inform the viewers out there how they could do this themselves if they've got similar light conditions as to this here.
Now, the light conditions in this home in Granger, the home of Art and Thomasine, we'll talk to Thomasine a little bit later on, but the light conditions here actually have changed over the years, haven't they?
They have. Of course, they started out with a heavily wooded lot, but when you come in, you build a house, you clear out the woods, you build the house, but then over time, the trees that were left, they start to reach in towards the house because simply they're reaching towards the sunlight. And so it gets even more shaded. And that's exactly what we had here. The grass that used to grow up around the house no longer really thrived. And so the way we solved that problem was by extending the beds out to where the grass is really nice, thick, and healthy.
Watch yourself as you navigate around this big rock, huh?
Yeah, we're actually hiding something underneath here.
Really?
Yes, yes. So everyone's got the ugly wellheads in their landscape. And of course, we wanted to disguise that. And so just putting one of these fiberglass boulders over it and then tucking some bark up against it. You know, it's a secret. Don't tell anyone out there.
Yeah. Hey, you've repurposed some of the plants here, haven't you?
Yes, we have. And what you see behind us, these hostas were here. They were existing, and of course, they're absolutely beautiful and have many, many more years worth of use, as well as the yews and this beautiful hydrangea that you see here. There were also other things, like we had some silver beacon that was growing in an area where we really didn't want it, but it was very good and healthy. And so we transplanted that over to an area in the center of the circular drive. It's going to grow together and make a really nice ground cover.
Well, let's walk a little bit closer to that circular drive, and we'll touch on that in just a moment. But on the other side of the sidewalk here, Mark, describe what we have.
Well, Craig, because of the architecture of the house, we wanted some balance, we wanted some symmetry, and so you're going to see kind of some similar type of plantings. We are framing the front entrance here with these two columnar fine line buckthorns. Would eventually like for them to grow up to stay just below the base of those light fixtures there. And the homeowner's done a nice job with the addition of some annuals for some color. Nice. In the springtime, the azaleas are going to be blooming. We've got some shade-loving ferns here. These are the Japanese painted ferns that have the beautiful colors in the leaves. We've got different varieties of hydrangeas that will continue to bloom throughout the summertime, along with daylilies, as well as different varieties of coral bells.
Now talk a little bit about the island, can you? It's a circular drive and a couple of features out front.
Exactly. And you know, the circular drive really forces the eye to the center. And so it was a difficult area because of the trees. We've got some exposed root system there. Hard to mow, and so it's a perfect spot for ground cover. And we already had the silver beacon growing here, and so that's really the highest and best use of that ground cover.
Talk about this over here.
Well, another focal point over here, of course, the large crab tree that was existing there, and it actually was Art's idea to have the boulder retaining wall there to really accent the area for some annual flowers that are planted annually, of course.
I think Thomasine thinks Art is a genius, don't you?
I believe so.
Well, we do know this about Thomasine. She's a nice lady, and we had a great time chatting with her. I know she appreciates the work you've done.
Well, thank you.
Let's catch up with Thomasine here and more about this landscaping in a shaded environment. Art and Thomasine Harrison are the proud homeowners here in beautiful Granger, Indiana. Thomasine joins us now. How are you today?
I am doing fine, thank you.
You have a beautiful home, Thomasine. I love this place. How long have you been here?
We've been here for 26 years.
What attracted you to this particular property?
Well, it reminded us of where we grew up. My husband and I both grew up in northeastern Pennsylvania, and so all the trees and the little bit of character to the landscape.
Now, your husband, when you get right down to it, he had some say in the renovation here, didn't he?
Oh, yes. It was 50-50, but he had some ideas that he liked and he wanted to see involved in the landscaping update.
So you allowed him to do that, huh?
Yeah, he occasionally gets a few choices.
That's great, Thomasine. Well, Mark Linton and his crew, they've done a wonderful job. Tell us what you like most about their work.
I just love the look of it, the different shapes, the character, the height, the openness. Now before I realized things were so crowded, and it's just clean, and the colors pick up different areas. I'm just so thrilled.
I would think that when you're here for 20 or 30 years, things do change, don't they? Things get bigger, and you've got to make some adjustments along the way.
That is so true. And we had been trying, after our kids left and grew up and started their own families, we had time to work on the landscaping, but we just didn't have what was needed to make it look the way it is today.
And kind of tricky with the shaded conditions, I would think.
That is the most difficult, and that's what drew me to Mark. I had seen him on TV one Saturday morning, and when my husband came home from work, I said, we're going to Linton's because they have the plants we need.
Well, very good. Speaking of Mark, I think he's going to enter stage left, I think. And Mark, good to see you again. What you got there?
Thank you, Craig. Oh, just want to express our great appreciation, both Thomasine and her husband, Art, for allowing us to share their newly landscaped home with all the viewers out there. Our floral designers put this together for you. It is very heavy. Know that you like kind of that woodland type of look.
Oh, it's gorgeous with the bunnies who are nibbling on the plants as they do here. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, this is just incredible. But I'm not surprised. It's what we know to expect from Linton's. It's just gorgeous.
Thomasine, you've been so kind. Thank you so much for having us out here today. And Mark, congratulations on your fine work as always.
Thank you, Craig.
And Thomasine, a pleasure to meet you.
It was nice meeting you too.
We've got a whole lot more coming up here on the program. Don't go away. We'll be right back.